Right now, as you're watching this, evacuation orders are being issued across Southern California. And what's about to happen in the next 48 hours could change everything for hundreds of thousands of families this Christmas Eve. This isn't just another storm. December 23rd, 2025, day 357 of the year, and we're staring down something meteorologists are calling a once-in-a-generation event. An atmospheric river so powerful, so concentrated, that the National Weather Service has done something they almost never do. They've issued a rare high-risk warning for excessive rainfall, the kind of warning that means one thing: lives are in danger. Here's what you need to know in the next 30 seconds. 4 to 7 inches of rain, widespread. But some areas, we're talking 9, maybe 10 inches in less than 24 hours. And here's the number that should stop you in your tracks: 18. 18 hours of non-stop intense downpours starting tomorrow, Wednesday, Christmas Eve. But that's just the beginning of what I need to tell you today. Because while California faces this deluge, the Sierra Nevada mountains are about to get buried under 4 to 8 feet of snow. And across the country, we've got a weather divide so extreme. Some places will hit 70 degrees, while others are locked in ice. Stay with me, because at minute 5, I'm going to show you exactly which roads will become impassable and when. The timing could save your life, or the life of someone you love. Let's talk about what atmospheric rivers really are. Picture this: a river in the sky. A ribbon of moisture, sometimes more than 1,000 miles long and carrying more water than the Mississippi River. This one is aimed directly at the coast between San Francisco and Los Angeles. But the bullseye? The transverse ranges and coastal slopes just north and west of the Los Angeles basin. Now, you might be thinking, California gets rain. What's the big deal? Here's the twist: the terrain. These mountains act like a giant squeeze. They force the moisture up, and when warm, wet air rises rapidly over mountains, it dumps extraordinary amounts of water in a very small area. It's called orographic lift, and it's about to create a nightmare scenario. Meteorologist Andy Hill grew up in this exact region, and he's genuinely concerned, not just professionally concerned, personally shaken, because he remembers what happened when he was a kid. His town got cut off, completely isolated. The only road in and out, blocked by mudslides. For days, nobody could get in or out. No supplies, no help, just waiting and praying. And here's something that might surprise you. This is happening to communities where people have lived for generations. Families who've weathered every storm California has thrown at them. People who remember 2005, who remember every big rain year. And they're being told, this time is different. Why is this time different? Let me give you the numbers that are keeping emergency managers up at night. Normal December rainfall for these areas, maybe 3 to 4 inches for the entire month. We're about to get that in one night, then another night's worth, then another, all compressed into 18 hours. But here's where it gets even more complex, and this is critical for understanding the full picture. It's not just rain. The Weather Prediction Center doesn't issue high-risk warnings lightly. In fact, they only do it about 4% of the time. 4%. And when they do, it means there's a 90+% chance of flash flooding. Not might flood, will flood. Drainage systems in these areas were built for normal rain. They're about to face flow rates 3, 4, maybe 5 times what they were designed to handle. Imagine trying to empty a swimming pool through a garden hose. That's what we're looking at. Storm drains will become useless. Streets will become rivers. And this brings us to something truly frightening. Burn scars, areas that burned in recent wildfires. The Malibu area has several. When vegetation burns away, the soil changes. It becomes hydrophobic, water-repelling. Instead of soaking into the ground, rain just runs off, fast, picking up debris, rocks, mud, creating deadly debris flows that can move at speeds of over 30 miles per hour. Evacuation orders are already in place around these burn scar areas. And if you're in one of these zones, I'm going to be direct with you. When they say evacuate, they mean now, not in an hour, not when you finish packing. Now, because once the rain starts, once those debris flows begin, there's no outrunning them. Let's talk about timing. This is your Minute 5 promise. Here's exactly when this is going to hit. The leading edge of moisture arrives late tonight, Tuesday night. Light rain starts, but don't let that fool you. The real event begins Wednesday morning. By Wednesday afternoon, we're talking about rainfall rates of 1 to 2 inches per hour, sustained for hours. Wednesday night into Thursday morning is when this reaches its peak intensity. If you're planning to travel Wednesday night, cancel those plans. I don't say that lightly. Christmas Eve is sacred time with family. But Interstate 5 and Highway 99 through California's Central Valley are going to be treacherous. Visibility near zero in places. Hydroplaning risks extreme. And here's something most people don't know about this particular setup. We've got a screaming 100-knot jet stream at mid-levels. That's over 115 miles per hour winds up in the atmosphere. This creates something called wind shear. And when you have wind shear plus moisture plus instability, you get rotation. You get tornadoes. California, tornadoes. On Christmas Eve, the Storm Prediction Center has issued a 2% tornado risk for Los Angeles, San Francisco, and Sacramento. Now, 2% might sound small, but in tornado forecasting, 2% is significant. It means conditions are favorable. It means supercells are possible. These won't be the massive wedge tornadoes you see in Oklahoma or Kansas, but they don't need to be. Even brief, weak tornadoes in populated areas cause damage. Throw in damaging winds and hail, and you've got a severe weather outbreak in a place that's just not used to handling it. Think about this for a moment. Families gathering for Christmas Eve. Maybe you're in California right now, preparing for tomorrow. The tree is up, gifts are wrapped, and outside, the weather is about to turn violent. This is where faith becomes so important, where we trust in something bigger than ourselves, where we remember that even in the storm, we're not alone. There's a verse that keeps coming to mind. He stilled the storm to a whisper. The waves of the sea were hushed. Sometimes we need to remember that even in chaos, there's a plan. Even when we can't see it. That doesn't mean we don't prepare. That doesn't mean we ignore warnings. It means we act with wisdom while trusting in protection. Now, let's shift our focus north. While the valleys are flooding, the Sierra Nevada range is facing its own apocalypse, but this one is frozen. We're forecasting 4 to 8 feet of snow above 7,000 feet. Let me say that again because it sounds unbelievable. 4 to 8 feet in 48 hours. Donner Pass on Interstate 80. If you know your history, you know that name. The Donner Party. 1846. Trapped by snow. It's a grim reminder of what Sierra snowstorms can do. And while modern technology means we're not facing that kind of tragedy, make no mistake, this snow will strand people. Snow rates are going to ramp up aggressively late tonight. By Wednesday, we're talking 2 to 3 inches per hour, every hour, for hours. That's concrete-like snow, heavy, dense, the kind that snaps tree branches, the kind that makes even snowplows struggle. Highway crews will do their best, but there's only so much you can do when snow is falling faster than you can clear it. If you're planning to cross the Sierra Wednesday or Thursday, I'm going to be blunt. Don't. Even if you have four-wheel drive, even if you have chains, even if you've driven these passes 100 times, this is the kind of snow that will leave you stranded for days, not hours, days. Is getting to your destination worth that risk? Here's a question I want you to think about. What would happen if you got stuck? Do you have supplies in your car? Water? Food? Blankets? A way to stay warm if your car runs out of gas? These aren't theoretical questions anymore. These are life and death considerations for anyone traveling in the Sierra Nevada this week. Meanwhile, back east, we've got a completely different scenario playing out. The Mid-Atlantic and Northeast are dealing with their own winter weather. Snow fell this morning across New Jersey. Pennsylvania has been reporting accidents all day. Upstate New York, New England, they're going to see light to moderate snow continuing through tonight and into tomorrow morning. 4 inches in the valleys, 8 inches or more in the higher elevations. Enough for a white Christmas, which is beautiful, right? But here's the contrast that's almost hard to believe. While the Northeast shovels snow and California drowns in rain, the central United States is about to bake. 25 to 30 degrees above average. On Christmas Day, Topeka, Kansas, could hit 70 degrees. Kansas City, too. These places are likely to break their daily high temperature records for December 25th, record-breaking warmth in December. For Christmas. Now, if you're upset about a warm Christmas, I understand. A lot of us dream of white Christmases. But here's a different way to look at it. That warm air, that ridge of high pressure, it's actually protecting you. It's a force field keeping the violent weather away. California's getting hammered. The Pacific Northwest is about to get its own intense storm system. The Northeast has snow and ice, but the plains, the Ohio Valley, the Southeast, calm, quiet, peaceful. Sometimes the blessing isn't the weather we want. It's the weather we're spared from. And that's worth being grateful for, especially as families gather, especially as we celebrate. Sometimes the greatest gift is simply being safe, being warm, being together. Let's talk about what's coming after Christmas, because this story doesn't end on the 25th. That moisture train is going to continue pummeling the West Coast. There's no end in sight until maybe Saturday. Day after day of rain and mountain snow, totals are going to be staggering by the time this is over. And then our focus shifts back east. Around the 29th through the 31st, we're watching another potential snow event for the Northeast, just in time for New Year's. But before we get there, there's another system we need to talk about. The day after Christmas, December 26th, this one is setting up to bring a significant ice threat to Wisconsin and Michigan. I'm talking accumulating ice, the kind that brings down power lines and tree limbs. Friday morning, we can see widespread ice accumulation. Then, that system moves southeast into Pennsylvania, maybe brings some snow to New Jersey and New York City by Saturday. Some of these areas could see 6 to 8 inches of snow from this second system, which means places in the Northeast are going to really rack up snowfall totals over the next week. New York City might be one of those places. The ice threat, though, that's what concerns me most about this one. Ice storms are particularly dangerous, deceptively dangerous. Here's why. Ice doesn't look as dramatic as deep snow, but a quarter-inch of ice can make every surface a skating rink. Cars can't stop. People can't walk. And when ice loads up on power lines and tree branches, the weight becomes too much. Snapping, falling, sometimes onto roads, sometimes onto houses, sometimes onto power lines themselves, causing outages that can last days. And all of this is happening as we transition into a pattern change. That warm ridge that's been protecting the central U.S., it's going to break down. A major cold front is going to sweep into the eastern United States around New Year's. Below average temperatures return. The lake effect snow machines fire back up. We're heading into a cold and snowy pattern for the east. But let's come back to right now. To tomorrow, to Christmas Eve, because that's what matters most in this moment. If you're in Southern California, especially in the warning areas, here's your action plan. First, know your elevation. Know your flood risk. Are you near a canyon? Near a burn scar? In a flood-prone area? Second, have multiple ways to get emergency alerts. Your phone, yes, but also a weather radio if possible. Because if the power goes out, if cell towers go down, you need to know what's happening. Third, prepare now. Tonight. Don't wait until tomorrow. Fill your car with gas. Charge all your devices. Have flashlights and batteries ready. Have food and water that doesn't require cooking. Fourth, and this is crucial, have an evacuation plan. Even if you're not in an evacuation zone right now, know your route out, know where you would go, have important documents ready to grab, have photos backed up. Because if conditions deteriorate quickly, you won't have time to think. You need to act. And please, if you're told to evacuate, do it. I know it's Christmas Eve. I know you have plans. I know leaving your home is scary. But emergency managers don't issue these orders lightly. They issue them when staying becomes more dangerous than leaving. Your life is more valuable than any possession. Your family's safety is more important than any holiday gathering. For those in the Sierra Nevada, the message is simpler, but no less urgent. Stay off the roads. If you're already in the mountains, shelter in place. If you're planning to travel through, change your plans. This isn't about being overly cautious. This is about recognizing when conditions exceed what's safe, even for experienced winter drivers. There's a reason we're spending so much time on this, a reason we're being this detailed, because weather like this doesn't just happen. These aren't normal winter storms. These are high-impact, life-threatening events. And the people who survive them best are the ones who take them seriously before they hit. Think about the people you love, your spouse, your children, your grandchildren, your parents, your neighbors. Now think about them being in danger because they didn't know, or they didn't prepare, or they thought it wouldn't be that bad. That's why we're here. That's why this matters. Not to scare you, but to prepare you. You know what's interesting? In the Bible, Noah built the ark before the rain came, not during, before. He prepared when the sky was still clear, when people probably thought he was crazy, but when the floods came, he was ready. We have something Noah didn't have. Advanced warning, satellite data, computer models, meteorologists working around the clock. We know what's coming. The question is, will we prepare? Will we act? Or will we hope for the best and get caught unprepared? I'm not saying build an ark. I'm saying fill your gas tank. I'm saying charge your phone. I'm saying have a plan. These are simple things, but they can make all the difference. Let's talk about something else that's important. Community. Checking on your neighbors, especially elderly neighbors, especially those who live alone. A quick phone call, a knock on the door. Hey, did you hear about the storm? Do you need anything? Do you have a plan? That kind of connection, that kind of care, it can save lives. And for those of you who aren't in the danger zones, you have a different role. Be patient with loved ones who are. If your family in California has to cancel plans, understand. If your friends in the Sierra can't make it to your gathering, don't be upset. This is about safety. This is about making sure everyone sees December 26th. We're also going to see something interesting play out on social media over the next few days. Videos of flooding, pictures of snow, tornado warnings scrolling across screens. And look, I get it. It's dramatic. It's shareable. But if you're in these areas, your priority isn't getting footage. It's getting safe. Leave the documenting to the professionals and the storm chasers who know what they're doing. Every year, we lose people who go out in storms to take pictures or video, who drive around barricades to see the flooding, who ignore road closure signs. Don't be that person. Don't let someone you love be that person. No photo, no video, no social media post is worth your life. Here's something that often gets overlooked in these discussions: the mental and emotional toll of severe weather, especially during the holidays. If you're evacuated, if your plans are ruined, if you're scared, those feelings are valid. It's okay to be disappointed. It's okay to be anxious. This isn't how anyone wanted to spend Christmas Eve. But here's what I want you to remember. You're not alone. Thousands of other people are going through the same thing. Emergency responders are working through the holiday to keep you safe. Meteorologists are monitoring every development. Your community is pulling together. And somewhere beyond the clouds and rain and snow, there's still light. There's still hope. There's still tomorrow. This storm will pass. It might take a day. It might take 2 or 3. But it will pass. The rain will stop. The snow will settle. The roads will clear. And you'll still have the people you love. You'll still have your community. You'll still have your faith. Christmas might look different this year, but what Christmas really means, that doesn't change. Speaking of Christmas, let me address something. Some of you might be wondering, why is this happening now? Why Christmas Eve? Is there some meaning to it? Some reason? I don't pretend to have those answers. Weather doesn't choose its timing based on our calendar. But I do know this. How we respond to challenges, especially during meaningful times, reveals who we are. The first responders who'll work through Christmas Eve to rescue people from floods. The snowplow drivers who'll spend the night clearing mountain passes instead of being with their families. The meteorologists and emergency managers who won't stop monitoring this until it's over. The neighbors who'll check on each other. The strangers who'll help stranded travelers. That's the light in the darkness. That's grace in action. And maybe that's the message we need to hear, that even in the storm, especially in the storm, we show up for each other, we care for each other. We put safety above convenience. We put people above plans. That's not just survival, that's community, that's love. Now, let's talk about what happens after Christmas, because this weather pattern is going to stay active. The West Coast is going to continue to see system after system rolling in. Rainfall totals by the end of the week could be absolutely staggering in some areas. We're talking possible monthly totals in just a few days. The good news, if we can call it that, is that after the initial onslaught Wednesday and Thursday, the intensity should decrease slightly. We'll go from extreme to merely heavy. That'll give drainage systems a chance to catch up. Give rivers a chance to crest and start receding. Give emergency crews a chance to assess damage and begin helping affected communities. But California isn't going to dry out anytime soon. This active pattern could persist into early January, which means ongoing flood risks, ongoing snow in the mountains, ongoing need for vigilance. This isn't a one-day event. This is a pattern change, a shift to a much wetter regime than California has seen in recent months. Meanwhile, that cold front I mentioned earlier, the one coming for the eastern U.S. around New Year's, that's going to flip the script entirely for that part of the country. We're going from well above average to below average. We're going from quiet to active. Lake effect snow is going to become a major player again. For those of you around the Great Lakes, you know what this means. Buffalo, Cleveland, Erie. Those lake effect snow machines can dump incredible amounts of snow in very localized areas. We could be looking at multiple feet of lake effect snow in the snow belts over the first week or two of January. So, if you're enjoying the warm Christmas, don't put those snow shovels away yet. And that system I mentioned for the 29th through 31st, that potential Northeast snow event, that's still evolving. It's far enough out that the models are still working through the details. But it has the potential to be a significant snowstorm for parts of the Northeast. Maybe a classic coastal low-pressure system. Maybe a nor'easter developing just offshore. We'll know more in a couple of days. But if you have travel plans for New Year's in the Northeast, keep a close eye on the forecast. Have backup plans. Build in flexibility. Because that timing, right around New Year's Eve and New Year's Day, that could impact a lot of people's plans. Here's something I want to emphasize as we get toward the end here. Weather forecasting has come so far. The technology we have now, the models, the satellites, the radar, it's incredible. We can see these systems coming days in advance. We can track them in real time. We can warn people with precision that would have been impossible 20 or 30 years ago. But all that technology, all that warning, it's only useful if people listen, if people act. The forecast doesn't save lives. People making good decisions based on the forecast save lives. So when you see a warning, take it seriously. When emergency managers tell you to evacuate, go. When transportation departments say roads are closed, believe them. Because here's the thing, these warnings are issued by people who care, people who have dedicated their careers to keeping communities safe. They're not trying to ruin your holiday. They're trying to make sure you have many more holidays to come. They're trying to make sure your family stays intact. They're trying to prevent tragedy. And on that note, let me say something to the emergency responders, the meteorologists, the highway crews, all the people who are going to work through this holiday to keep others safe. Thank you. Your sacrifice doesn't go unnoticed. Your dedication matters. You are literally the difference between life and death for some people. That's not hyperbole. That's reality. For everyone else, the best way to honor their work is to make their job easier. Follow the warnings. Don't create situations where they have to rescue you. Don't drive around barricades. Don't put yourself in danger. Because every unnecessary rescue takes resources away from people who had no choice, who did everything right and still need help. As we approach the end here, I want to circle back to the big picture. We've covered a lot of ground. California's atmospheric river and flooding, Sierra Nevada's massive snowfall, tornado risks in unlikely places, snow and ice in the Northeast, record warmth in the center of the country, multiple systems lining up for the days after Christmas, a pattern change bringing cold back to the east. It's a lot, it's complex, it's dynamic, but the core message is simple. This is a high-impact weather period. The next few days require your attention. They require your preparation. They might require your action. Don't wait. Don't assume. Don't hope it won't be that bad. Take this seriously. Check your emergency kit. Make sure you have water, non-perishable food, flashlights, batteries, first aid supplies, any medications you need. Make sure your phone is charged and you have a way to charge it if the power goes out. Make sure you have cash on hand in case ATMs or credit card systems go down. Make sure your car has gas. If you're in a warning area, have your important documents ready. Birth certificates, insurance papers, medical records. Have photos backed up digitally. Have a bag ready to grab if you need to leave quickly. Have your evacuation route planned. Know where you would go. Know how you would get there. And talk to your family. Make sure everyone knows the plan. Make sure children know what to do. Make sure elderly family members have support. Make sure no one is facing this alone. Communication and preparation, those are your two greatest tools right now. One more thing I want to address. Some of you might be feeling overwhelmed. All this information, all these warnings, it can be a lot. If you're feeling anxious, that's normal. That's your brain telling you this matters, telling you to pay attention. Use that energy. Channel it into preparation, not panic. And remember, millions of people go through severe weather events and come out fine because they prepared, because they listened, because they made good decisions. You can be one of those people. You can get through this. Your community will get through this. We've weathered storms before. We'll weather this one too. So here's what I need you to do. Right after this video ends, take action. Don't just think about it. Don't just worry about it. Do something. Check the forecast for your specific area. Sign up for emergency alerts if you haven't already. Make that plan. Get those supplies. Check on your neighbors. Do one concrete thing to prepare. Because that's what transforms information into safety. That's what turns a warning into protection. That's what saves lives. Not the forecast itself, but what people do with it. And you have the power to make good decisions. You have the ability to prepare. You have the strength to get through this. As we close, I want to leave you with this thought. Storms come. That's part of life. We can't control the weather, but we can control how we respond to it. We can choose preparation over panic. We can choose community over isolation. We can choose wisdom over recklessness. We can choose to protect what matters most. And what matters most, it's not your stuff. It's not your plans. It's the people, your family, your friends, your neighbors, your community. That's what we're trying to protect here. That's why we spend hours analyzing data and issuing forecasts and producing content like this. Because people matter. You matter. This Christmas might not look like what you planned, but you'll be here for the next one. You'll gather with your loved ones again. You'll make new memories. You'll have new celebrations. But only if we all make smart choices in the next few days. Only if we put safety first. So please, take this seriously. Share this information with anyone who needs it. Look out for each other. And know that while the weather might be severe, while the conditions might be dangerous, you're not facing this alone. We're in this together. As a community. As neighbors. As people who care about each other's well-being. Stay safe out there. Stay alert. Stay prepared. And we'll get through this together. 1 hour at a time. One decision at a time. One act of preparation and care at a time. Because that's what communities do. That's what we do. That's who we are. And you know what? After the storm passes, after Christmas Day arrives, after we're all safe and together, we're going to have quite a story to tell. About the Christmas Eve when California got hammered by an atmospheric river. About the white Christmas in the Sierra and the Northeast. About the warm Christmas in the heartland. About how we all came together and looked out for each other. That story isn't written yet. The next few days will write it. And you're part of that story. Your decisions, your actions, your care for others, it all matters. It all makes a difference. So write your part well. Make it a story of wisdom and preparation. Make it a story of community and compassion. Make it a story worth telling for years to come. We'll be monitoring all of this closely over the next several days, tracking every development, providing updates as conditions change, because this is what we do. This is why we're here, to give you the information you need to stay safe, to help you make good decisions, to be a resource you can trust when it matters most. But our job is just to inform. Your job is to act. And I know you will, because you're here, you're watching, you're paying attention. That tells me you care. That tells me you're taking this seriously. That tells me you're going to do the right thing. And that gives me hope, real hope, that we're going to get through this, all of us, together. So God bless you, stay safe, take care of each other, and we'll see you on the other side of this storm, because there is another side, there's always another side, the rain stops, the sun comes out, life goes on, and it's going to be beautiful. But first, we've got to navigate the storm. And you're ready, you've got this. We've got this. Together. One last thing before we go. Keep watching for updates. The forecast will evolve. Conditions will change. New information will come in. We'll be here to share it with you. We'll be tracking everything. And when something important develops, when there's something you need to know, we'll be here. You can count on that. Because this isn't just about today. It's not just about this storm. It's about building a community that looks out for each other, that stays informed, that takes weather seriously, that values preparation and safety. And you're part of that community now. You're part of something bigger than just one forecast or one storm. So thank you for being here. Thank you for taking the time to learn and prepare. Thank you for caring enough to watch all the way through. That matters more than you know. And now it's time to take that knowledge and turn it into action. You know what to do. You know what needs to happen. Now go make it happen. Stay safe out there, and we'll talk again very soon.